wiggle it just a little bit. Okay, that's a little more than a little bit. Stop. Yes, I'm like this by myself. Are you judging me? Stop judging me. It's against the rules. I'm having problems with productivity today. I want to see what these are, and I gotta be honest, they're not really related to the video other than the fact that they cost $1 for 4 of them, and they look amazing. I got a bear and a heart and a totally, it's the frog. I don't even care what this one says. I'm doing the frog. Smack the pack. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I can't read this stuff. Right, smack the pack. Pow. And then I'm supposed to watch and wait. Regarde et attende, in case you don't speak English. And then I'm supposed to see the surprise. Smack the pack. Watch and wait. I can't tell. Is it doing something? It just looks the same. All right, I'm going to smack. No, it's open. Watch and wait. I hope it's not like a butterfly and I pulled it out of its package. Now it's not going to work. There's like a capsule in here. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to break it to get it to inflate. So we're going to... Oh! I mean... I don't know what I was expecting. This is great. It is cold, like there's an ice pack in there. Look at that little thing. It's gonna pop. I hope it knows how much air to put in there. It's cute though. I'm gonna put that over there. So afraid it's gonna explode. Don't pop. All right, moving on. I don't even know how to start videos like a normal person. Hello, hello, hello. It always sounds weird no matter what I do. Hello. Okay, a little too much. Dial it back. Hello. That's not better. Hi friends. I'm going to start with a preface because this is a major pet peeve of mine and I want to make sure I clear it up right from the start. There is a verse in the Bible that constantly gets misquoted, and that is a verse about money. A lot of people will say that the Bible says money is the root of all evil. It is not. It is actually very specific. The Bible actually says that the love of money is the root of all evil. It is in 1 Timothy 6, verse 10, if you want to look it up. But it says the love of money, which is very different because you can be in love with money and be absolutely poor, and you cannot be in love with money and have $3 million sitting in your bank. The money isn't the issue. Your heart is the issue, which is the entire walk with God. I want to tell you a story about a pickle jar. So when I was growing up, my mom had a piggy bank that she stored change into. And I've never forgotten that one time she rolled up all the pennies and stuff in the jar and we went to Kings Island on the money from the jar. I don't know if we went with anything else, but I just remember that she used it. And it kind of stuck with me about how much that change adds up to be. And so when I got married, we were out one time and I don't know why, but I bought this gigantic pickle jar full of these big pickles. And when we emptied the jar out, I decided to clean the jar out. My husband cut a hole in the top and we decided to keep it and just throw change into it with the idea that when the jar filled up, we would use it to do something special. This is that jar. I don't know if it's 20 years old, but it's got to be close because it was very early on in our marriage that we bought it. But this is that jar. And the problem is that it never filled up because there was always something that we had to use the money on. It was always a spare tire, an electric bill, groceries, just anything. Something would always come up and we would be broker than broke, and we had to use the money in the change jar. And we just kept going back to it. And I will never forget that in 2017, as we were planning our vacation, I looked at the jar and the jar was full. After almost 2 decades of marriage, the jar was finally full. And I remember being so thankful because of what that symbolized. Because early on, we were constantly struggling to make ends meet, and it was always something. The jar never had a chance to fill up. And so suddenly I'm sitting there and I realized the jar had finally filled up. We had gone long enough being able to make ends meet that we did not need to get into that jar. And then we used that money to go toward our vacation, which, as many people might know, that vacation started a ball rolling for me. I actually wept the day I realized that the jar was full. And we went and we dumped it out, and I've got this beautiful picture of the empty pickle jar sitting in my living room back in 2017. And it just so stuck with me. We live so much of our life around money, and it's unfortunate we have to, because that's how we buy stuff. This thought hit me this week about what are we living for? And I was thinking about money and thinking about the fact that there has been a number of times where the reason I have gotten out of bed in the morning was for this. Was because this was needed. And so on a day where I might have just stayed in my bed, I needed to get up and get this. But is this what I'm actually living for? Is this the reason I wake up in the morning? It certainly has a purpose, and that purpose is important, right? I mean, I can't pay for my home, and I can't pay for food, and I can't pay for clothes, and I can't pay for anything unless I have a way to obtain this. And I'm a mom, so even if I decide that I want to be homeless, I'm responsible for another life. It's so easy to get lost in that thought that I've got to make money. That's why I've got to get out of bed. But of course, most of us know that's not actually what we're alive for. That's not actually what we're living. It's not the reason we want to be on this earth. It's a means to an end, of course. But is money the reason that you're living today? Is that what your heart is here for? Is that your purpose? Or are we worth more? Is the reason you get out of bed in the morning so that you can be wealthy, or you can have money, or even if you can just buy your groceries? Is that the only reason you're getting up? I'm going to bet that the honest answer is no. Even though some days that's what it feels like. Of course not. Of course that's not the reason your heart is beating. That's not why there's breath in your lungs. There's more. There's something more that you're after. That money is a means to an end, but it's not the end. It's not the thing. If you get $5 million handed you today, are you still going to be able to get out of bed? Is there still a reason you're on this planet? It would certainly be nice to have $5 million handed to me today, but I would still have a reason to get up in the morning. What would that reason be? If today I gave you every drop of money that you would ever need for the rest of your life, why are you here? What would you do? Would you just go live the high life and adventure and travel around the world and just do whatever your heart desires? Or do you have a greater purpose? Do you have something more? And listen, if that's what you would do, maybe that is your purpose. I believe that some of our lives change the world in the most ordinary of ways. And I think that if the reason you're living and breathing is to raise your children, that is a noble calling. If you want to give them the best life they can have, if that's why you're going to work every day, still a noble calling, because their lives affect lives. So you never know what that ripple chain of events can lead to. I'm not telling you you have to have some major, like, I'm going to go change the world, life missions, feed all the children in starving places, that kind of thing. But I do want to know if you have a greater thing beyond the dollar bill. Is there something more that you're living for? Because as we learn and grow and live, our pickle jars hopefully start to fill up. The ends hopefully start to meet. And for some of us, hopefully, we find a way to make more than enough. Hopefully, we grow beyond. We all hope that someday we will have more than enough, or at least enough. Of course. And as we grow and mature and reach those goals, oh, do we just sit back and go, well, I have money. I'm good. I bet, even though for most of us this drives us day in and day out, day in and day out, when we search our hearts, this isn't what we want to be alive for. It's just what we're doing because it's what we have to do. But it's not what you want to live for. So I'm going to challenge you. What do you want to live for? What do you want to do with your life? What effect do you want to have on the world? Is this what's getting you out of bed in the morning? Or is there something more? You tell me. Are you more than $1? Have a wonderful week, and give some love away. Bye. Love, true love, wiggle it just a little bit. And if you were behind me, you could probably see my underwear right now. I mean, this is fabulous. And it is really hard to see through these glasses. I mean, L-O-V-E. Totally. That's not at all the music. I am 7 minutes into recording and I've done nothing important. For the record, I just searched for buy. Enjoy! On the still stands